Brown Dragon Robin, and see how everyone's getting on. Whether you've done much of this one or not, absolutely not a problem. Or what's come through for you, what the feelings have been, and has anything been maybe surprising or what you were expecting? So the first person on my screen is Gita. Is that all right if you and your beautiful pottery come first?
Hi. Um, yeah, so I really felt very comfortable with this element, the earth element. I thought in comparison to the others that it was really I mean it resonates with me personally, but also I felt it was really a beautiful energy. I loved the instructions and the sharing from you also to look at those who are more dormant versus others which are maybe younger, this kind of um, symbiosis was
Yeah.
I thought was really interesting. And in my personal work, I mean I am in an area which is very nature. um, yeah, I live in nature. And we are just catching up with the rest of the world of just getting some flowers going. um, and so it's very, very, very beautiful here right now. And
Mm.
so this need or this element of being outside and being in nature and planting and all of that is very present. So that also was a really nice coherence for these journeys. And for me personally, I I was as my entrance into the journey realm. For me, my doorway is already on my grounds, so it was really interesting to also discover those elements which are here on the land in
Mm.
that context of
Mm.
dragon energy.
Yeah.
Um, and I have a space in the garden which is going to be opened into a new herbal garden, medicine
Ooh.
garden, which is garden kind of this year. And there too, it was like this energy which was present, which I hadn't actually connected to in that way. And there, it was just like there was one eye showing,
Oh wow.
and the doorway was the invitation to enter through that eye into
Oh,
that. So it was very cool,
that's very give me good
really.
shivers.
And needless to say, there are other journeys to be had and connections to be made, so I really liked it. And my dragon cauldron, which I planted, is like this additional altar in
Yeah.
my house. I really like that too. So yeah, it was just all the way around really very cool.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. No, it feels it. It feels like you've just been immersed in that in a
Yeah.
really beautiful way. Thank
And
you.
I really liked it. And I connected in the journey, or even sort of, my thinking is like where I suddenly think of a space I know, and I'm thinking, oh, that one must be really cool. Or realizing that underneath is this
Yeah.
this dragon energy, which I think is less appreciated, in
Yeah.
the sense that, I mean, even me, I work with, if I say even me, I work with energies all the time, but
Mm,
I never
mm.
thought of it in that way. And I never visited the land in that way. So yeah, it's
Oh,
really cool.
that makes me happy. That makes me happy. And it's interesting, isn't it, about the dragons that are dormant? Because obviously they're very old, a lot of them as well. And they'd have been used to being worked with, and they've no one worked with them anymore, or
Yeah,
they've been put under Christian churches. This isn't about a bad thing about religion. It's just that power's been taken by
right.
something else. So they just got very stuck or stagnant or just sleepy. Um, and we come along, we haven't, we kind of like, okay, how do we do this? How do we waken that energy without, or just tune in and see if it wants to be awoken, or just sending it
Right.
some energy, sending it some light. But places like Avebury here in the UK, people go a lot and they connect with the dragons.
Right.
Um,
I love that place. I know it well.
yeah,
And here in I'm in North America, in Quebec,
yeah.
north of Montreal. And so we have a lot of native culture here. and they have within their culture this difficulty of having some of their sacred land, but also their sacred tools which have been removed, and they find them in museums, where they do not belong to them. And so their technique is offering of tobacco. And it doesn't have to be tobacco. It could be all sorts of other ways. It could be in chant, it can be in drumming, it can be all sorts. And so their way of reconnecting to the ancient tradition in their teaching is by doing offerings.
Wow.
And I thought that was a really nice, that flows really nicely into that element of something which is asleep or ancient, where we don't necessarily want to, I don't want to take up too much time, but I've done this once. I've done a journey in the middle world to the land here, and I just turned up and I just was like, hello, and they were like, what do you want? Who are you? What are you, And I was like, ooh, okay, sorry. And I had to go back with that kind of announcing myself. And this is what they do here in ceremonies all the time. You always, when you step in, and not to the people, but to the spirits, that you announce yourself with your name, all the names you have, and with your intention. And so that kind of posture and ceremony also I now do in journey, when I go to journey, that I announce myself, I say what's my intention, and so that this interaction with spirit is there. And I feel that for someone who is who is like ancient and has that energy of not having been engaged in the same way for a while, is actually something which is really resonating.
Yes, absolutely, because we don't have the lineage, do we, to know how to do it, and
we don't get brought up like that. In a way, we don't have it in our culture necessarily.
And it would be like someone coming up and waking me up in the morning for no good reason at like 4 a.m. Hiya, I'd be like, go away, I'm sleeping.
Or just bursts into your house. Hi, I'm here. And it's like, knock first.
Yes, knock first. Let me know you're not here to steal things.
Exactly.
That's really fascinating. Thank you for that. That's a really fascinating discussion. Thank you. And Nan, you're next on my screen. How are you doing? How's it going?
Hey, it's going okay. This is the first morning it's been like not miserable outside. We got humid and hot really quick, and it's just kind of depressing because it gets it's just like you immediately sweat when you walk out the door, and it just like, so I'm avoiding outside, and that makes me depressed.
Oh.
No, I've been a little sad, but this morning it was nice, and I'm hoping it shifts my mood. But as far as the dragon journeys, they've been great. And I'm also reading some stuff about, it's like The Secret Life of Trees. I'm sure you guys have heard of it.
I got that
about all that, and to remind myself about all of that information about nature and how it's alive and has consciousness, and it's just, I don't know, that's been comforting. And then in the middle dragon, the middle week meditation, when we went, didn't we go underground, or did I make myself do that? I don't know.
There was an option to. There was
okay,
option to.
I did.
Yeah.
And I met this like rust dark brown little dragon, and it gave me a handful of dust. So I don't know what that means.
Gave you what? Sorry, it gave you
a handful of dust, like dirt.
No,
like, thank you. But yeah, so this has been good. I don't know. I'm glad that we're having this today. Good. Thank you.
No, thank you. I love as well.
And thanks, Geeta. That was really nice. All the things you said, I appreciate.
Yeah, really. Absolutely. I know you're saying even if you can't go out because the weather's depressing, it's like just the dragon spark, that inspiration about the trees and that connection between your life. They come through. You give them the attention, they come through where they can, don't they? They do come through. where they can. Thank you, Nan. Reeve, how are you doing? You're next.
Good morning,
You?
everybody. Morning
What time
here.
is it with you? What time is it with
I'm in Ohio. Hi, Nan. We're in the same country, right?
Yes.
It's 11 o'clock, so very civilized.
Oh,
Thank you
good. I'm
for
glad.
that.
I like civilized.
And thank you both, Nan and Gita, for opening with such beautiful thoughts. I smiled, Gita, when you talked about the eye as the portal, because yesterday when I went to my local metaphysical bookshop, etc., I found this. Can you see it?
I can.
It's really heavy. I don't know what it's made of.
I've got a red one like that. It's really
beautiful
heavy.
weight
Yeah.
to it. And then this is, I hate the spine, and then the back is like, it's all textural, and it's like the back of the dragon. Oh my gosh. And so, and I brought it home, and my husband said, oh, that's really nice, but it should be green. And I thought that's so funny, because these earth dragons I've been working with have been very much like bolder colored, you know, like not white exactly, but more white than green. Very very kind of rocky and textured and very old. They've just come to me as just so, and I've loved the invitation to step into that slow energy. Wow, what a gift. It's been really beautiful, because I'm not wired that way, and but I long for it, I ache for it, and so it just feels like such a restful, beautiful place. And I've been walking around just my local park, but it's been really nice connecting with the land. And I think I want to do, there's a serpent mound built by the Adina in Southern Ohio. It's about a little over 2 hours away. And so, have you been?
Tell us, Nan, what's your thoughts on that?
No, but I just learned about it like a couple years ago when my best friend moved to Kentucky and we were looking for cool things. But so you haven't been, and you live in Ohio?
Yeah, but you know, yes, I live in Ohio, but like I said, it's like 2 hours and a quarter away, and
you
so
got to go.
come with
and
me.
The solstice is coming up. You got to go.
Yeah,
That's
I'm really
awesome.
I'm excited about that. So,
And please share it.
Yes. Share anything you see. Yeah, we'll keep the on the page. That'd be lovely to see it. I'd love to see the sacred sites in the land. Yeah. I'd love to also get a ley line map. I've got one of Glastonbury which shows you the where the ley lines go out to other parts of the globe as well. So other sacred sites in America and I have to find it, but I would love to get a map of the world and just seeing where they all go and how maybe we're all connected in those different ways as well.
I would love to see a map.
This one is on the ley lines.
Nice. Oh,
yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Oh, it's exciting. That's exciting. And I love that you slowed down. And actually the white dragon feels really that popped. That was like that's very alive, wasn't it? That book, that's very alive. So I'm excited to see. Do you get anxiety about posh notebooks, about what goes in them? I get huge anxiety about posh notebooks.
Well, I'm a writer, and I usually make my own journals and I collage them because I'm kind of picky. But this one I'm definitely feeling like, because it feels, I didn't buy it really with the notion of like writing in it, as just like the thing itself feels more interesting to me. So I don't know what I'll put in it or if I'll worry about it.
No, cool. No, I'm just curious. I've got the red one. I've been like going, there you are. But it's a beautiful thing to hold, isn't it? You like the weight of it and everything. It's a beautiful.
And the weight feels really perfect.
Yeah. Thank you. And Gail, how are you doing?
I'm doing better. Crazy week. I had my cats disappear, and I was terrified that it was the eagle that got them. My little Phoenix, the mother cat, she was gone from Tuesday. She didn't get back till late Friday night. Yeah, Friday night at midnight, she finally came home. So I was kind of distraught. And then on Thursday, 2 other cats went outside and didn't come back in. But Friday night, 1 came in. So I have 2 cats back and 1 cat still missing. Cat Merlin, the stray one, the white one that I had, was up in my bedroom. I was so surprised he even got got out, but I'm hoping he'll come back too.
Yeah.
And then I had my son at the hospital for pneumonia. And so it's been a crazy week.
What a week. Oh, bless you.
I look awful because I just actually woke up and it's noon and I never sleep till noon, but I was just so exhausted that and because the other cat wasn't here, the white one, like I slept downstairs and my other cats all came with me and that hasn't happened in a while. And Phoenix kept cuddling and coming right up by my face. And so I'm like, I'm just staying in bed.
Yeah. Oh, you deserve it. You deserve it.
I needed to keep up my sleep because I had slept on the couch for 4 nights straight, hoping that that's like right in front of me because this window is where the cats come to knock. So things are going better, but I did do the dragon journeys and I did go outside under the trees, as you can tell. And
Lovely.
I really liked what Gita said about it's interesting when you live in a really cool place and you do meditations that try to bring your imagination to somewhere, and that somewhere is just like where you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And right under those trees, one of the I don't know if it was the sisters or which, but it was about 9 stones.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had actually put 9 stones there last fall. So that's the place that I go to meditate. So when I sit right there under the trees within these 9 stones that are getting like I picked some that had moss and tried to encourage more moss growth. I can look right out at the river and it's just really nice and a good place to do it. So I feel like I'm within nature, within the trees, and that's kind of my portal.
Nice. Oh, it's so magic. Yes.
Yeah. And things in Canada, I'm in New Brunswick, Gita, so we're close, fairly close. Like she said, the flowers and all that are later than other places, but they're starting. Like right now is like the perfect time for things to start blooming. And it's so nice to see everything pop with green, where it feels so long. The winter feels so long, but when the trees actually pop, then you're like, the earth is alive again.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of gardening and a lot of planting, and it just feels really, really good. Feels very green. So
it's very healing as well, because you had a hard week and doing the gardening is probably.
yeah, it's very cathartic. Like I kind of did the gardening just before, but I've still been doing a few things, but just walking out now and looking at things grow every day, taking the dog by the leash and going, look at this, and watering things, tending to it. I think it's good.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. And I hope that Merlin comes home. Is it Merlin, isn't it? Yeah, Merlin.
But it's summer, so he can survive. I mean,
yeah, they're probably having the time of their life, aren't they? They're probably having the best time ever. And we're going.
I'm now that I know they're not in an eagle's belly, I'm just thinking he's on a walkabout.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially because everything just popped alive. It's probably very exciting, isn't it, for them? Bless you. Well, come home, Merlin. Come home. Thank you. And Grace, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I am in America. I'm in Wisconsin for the summer.
Ooh, so it is civilized. It's not you in the middle of the night for once.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's like 10 a.m. So that's really amazing. Thank you for that. Yeah. But yes, I'm doing really well. Got in like Thursday night at like midnight, 1 a.m. really. And I haven't gotten to do any of the journeys this time because I've been traveling and packing and all of that kind of thing. So I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I'm loving the weather.
You're absolutely brilliant. You're never terrible. And also you can do it in your own time. There's no and obviously with it moving like to a different part of the earth, it's good to do it when you're settling in, isn't it? On the new land.
Yeah. The energy is very much more expansive here, and it's much easier to kind of flow into and out of meditation here. I think maybe it's because we're farther away from the equator. I don't know.
That's really interesting.
It's more fluid for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Like you're kind of doing this and sort of comparing the different parts of the world. That's brilliant. Love that.
Yeah. You're just kind of locked into Perth and Perth things when you're in Perth, but it's less so here. I think it's really strange. I don't know. Maybe I'm making sense. Maybe I'm not.
No, you're totally making sense. Yeah, absolutely. And is it somewhere is this where you're from originally? Is it?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Oh, cool.
So, Yeah, no, it's been really good. Just went for a walk and it smells like spring and there's sun and there's trees and yeah, it's so good.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. And also when you do kind of do get to explore the land, please do keep letting us know how it's all going. We'd love to hear. Yeah, there's no hurry whatsoever. So, righty, you're going to laugh. I pulled a dragon card for to close the earth part. You know what we got? Nutrition. I'm like, do we just have
again?
Like, I know. It's always I just eat an ice cream. It's like, you do it to make me feel guilty. But I was just started thinking, okay, we keep getting it, and obviously it's a very foresty dragon feel. And I was like, okay, am I missing something that we should be, looking at? Of course, is what we're bringing into our bodies, but maybe it's also like the social media we're allowing, with the things we're allowing in other areas as well, like the nutrition of our minds and our energy, and maybe even to be out with the trees or with nature, because that feeds us with that energy. I was trying to see I thought there must be something different they're trying to say to us, rather than like, watch what you're eating. And I know that is important, to eat healthy, wholesome foods as much as possible. But I was thinking about nutrition can be what you're bringing into your, it's a bit shiny where I am at the moment, but yeah, it's like the water maybe, or kind of connecting with sacred springs, connecting with like, I know, like Gita was saying, like growing herbs in the garden, maybe connecting with the process of the plants and the things that we bring into our body. So yeah, I thought there are other cards in this deck, I promise you. There's a heck
Are you sure?
There's like about 40 cards. And I was like, I thought this was going to come up on the first day because it's so green and earthy, but no, but the dragons are having a giggle with us. And I was like, okay, it came up today. So I might hide it somewhere and see if it still comes out next time. But yeah, maybe it could be the journey of looking at how we connect with our own process of not saying you have to go and grow your own food. That's a massive undertaking, but maybe with our gardens, or with how with the water that we're drinking, especially here in the UK, we had like some nasty viruses in the water down in the south. It was really nasty parasites in the water, like the tap water. I was like, okay, here's when things, that kind of commercial use of water is really and maybe connecting with springs or with places of water. But yeah, I also thought maybe about what we're consuming in our minds and with our screens as well could be kind of seen as a sort of nutrition in some way as well. So I was saying, have we got notebooks and pens on us? I do not. So I'm going to go and get one, because I'm the bad one here, because we're going to do a little thing, just reconnecting with the earth dragons before we do our journey. So I'm just going to go and get a pen and paper. If you need to go and get anything, or get anything for the meditation, some water, do so now. I'll be back in 2 seconds when I found my notepad. Okay, so I'm going to put the timer on the clock in a second. So that as we've done before, I always really like free writing, because it acts as part of us that unconscious, so we may not have realized. But I want you to write down, before we do that, my earth power is. And just examples of what could come through is healer, creator, potter, nurturer, nourisher, grower. It doesn't have to be one thing. We're going to do a 3 minutes, so there could be a few things that come through with it, maybe 2 minutes, but I'll put the timer on. But my earth power is, just write what your power is, how the earth inspires you to create, to be, how you work in tune with the earth. So I'm just going to get the timer on. I'll do 3 minutes. Okay, so my earth power is 3 minutos. Okay. Come finish the sentence that you're on. And then when you're ready, we have one more, and it is Earth Dragon Wisdom is. And again, not judging anything you're saying, just allowing it to flow from your pen without any thought of grammar, spelling, words, or just letting it all flow through for 3 minutes. Okay, just bring that to a close when you're ready. And does anyone want to share anything that came through for them? No pressure. If any words or how your earth power is channeled came through you want to share.
Excuse me. I get that the earth dragon wisdom is ancient, protective. And I wrote slow because I feel the dragons have been here for centuries, eons, forever. And so they're not going to give you wisdom based on one thing. It's like if you ask advice sometimes from a teenager, they'll give you the answer that they understand, or from a middle-aged person or from an old person, like their experience is based on so much longer life that they're not going to go for the quick fix.
Yeah.
So I feel that a dragon would, because they've seen so much, they're going to give you like a long, slow answer based on their lifetime, and it will be something that you can use long and slowly throughout your life.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And also how we're so fast, don't we? Take things in and we discard it so quickly. It's like, yeah, gone. Yeah, gone. And they're like, oh. It's like the Ents in Lord of the Rings, the Ents that take a long time to say anything. And they only say things if it's important. Yeah. Imagine even to trees, we're like little buzzy flies. And to earth dragons, it must be just like, oh, just calm down.
Yeah. And it's even just like, when you look at flowers or anything, it's like the quick answer is, let's go buy annuals and automatically have all this color burst everywhere. And that's what I do on my deck so that I can enjoy them. But then when you walk deeper in the garden, you're like, this flower only blooms for 2 weeks, the peonies, for instance, and you have to wait for them, and they're ancient. And every year they get a little bigger. And the first year they might not even bloom if you move them or do anything, but then they're going to keep, and it takes so much more patience, but I think there's so much more wisdom in them.
I love that. Yeah. Oh, so wise. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You savor those 2 weeks, you just like, wow, this is your time, and you're going to get the attention of the garden.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Thank you. Anyone else want to share? You're welcome. There's no pressure.
Just piggybacking on that, I wrote, stop flitting around and deeply be present to yourself and to others. Protect the treasure that is this moment now.
Oh, I love that. And I love the kind of I guess it's like a different but the same, like how flitting we are, but the now is the thing we need to protect rather than flitting from one thing to the next. This treasure of now. I love that. Thank you. Oh, I love everything everyone's saying today. The Earth Dragons have definitely inspired us, that's for sure. Okay, so if no one else wants to share, we shall get ready for our...
I can quickly...
Please do, yes.
I also had ancient, and then what came through was like, it is about memory. So the healing is by remembering, and the word unapologetic came. Meaning also in a way, first of all, this is how it is. There isn't anything to explain or understand. That's it. Remember it, and as a base and foundation, I think it's very compelling. And in there, the explanation was it takes commitment. So it is unapologetic, but you need to be in for the good. I mean, you can't just sort of taste it a little.
Yeah.
It's like either you're with it or you're not.
Yeah.
So it demands a commitment in some way, which I think speaks to what was just said before, this ancient, and it's there. Yeah. And it's personal, but it's not emotional. And I feel sometimes in journeys, we like it when it's fluffy and exciting and wow, but the real deep knowledge often comes and feels almost boring, but there is a depth to it in a way, which speaks to what Gail said about, if you ask a young person, there's a quick, like, fiery response. And if you ask someone else, they give you an answer which demands that you reflect on it, kind of, which has the same kind of energy. And then it was all about love, compassion, and deep nurturing, more than the mother nurturing, which we feel like is like the deepest kind of love, but it's even more than that. This underlying, undeniable kind of like essence.
Oh,
it's very cool.
It is. It's really, you sink into that feeling. It's just
right.
Right. And it's funny, we've got the water dragons next. Let's see how the emotions go then. No, we can have the the moment, because like I said, you kind of, if you're in your emotions, you miss the moment sometimes, don't you? I can be like really feeling something about this guy doesn't love me, or I went there, I'm going there next week, and then I'm missing the moment. I'm not thinking about what I'm seeing. It's like that feeling is going over there, or it's going to somebody else, or it's going over there, and then I miss that treasure of that absolute moment. So it's been a real practice for me as well to be like, emotions are great. So I'm a very emotional, like it's in my chart, but actually it isn't always helpful. It takes you away from being alive and the experience of being alive sometimes.
And also when you expect that true messages are like that,
Yeah.
that they're emotional and big and, you know, fireworks and everything, then we kind of like you say, we miss the point, or
Yeah.
we miss what else is there
Yeah.
because we're too much focused on where is the bang,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
If I can add to that, that's like a good marriage also, right? Because the good marriages, you look at those couples that have been forever and go, they're so boring. You know, a lot of them, you're like, why? And it's just this comfortable, you know, and you see the one that the sparks are going off and they don't last as much. You
yeah.
know, they're all emotional, but they're not that deep-seated love as much.
Yeah. It's yeah. Yeah, because it's all about the big feelings, and then when they go to actually this person goes to the toilet and they like their dinner on Wednesdays, and you know there's like, you know, that's not the exciting stuff that you got to get used to, and it's yeah. No, it's really, yeah, it's really interesting. Thank you. And also what you said, Gita, about commitment marries in a little bit with what we've got an opportunity, not a demand, in this next journey as well that's coming up. So in this journey, if you can, and you, what I'm saying, imagine or place yourself at a sacred site. That can be your sacred site, like Gail, your 9 stones in your garden, or it could be a place you've been to, a place that you would love to visit. I mean, it's good if you know it. It's good if you know the place, but it's not necessary. So we're going to journey into a sacred site, a mound, a hill, a stone circle. It doesn't matter what, a cave. It could be a famous one. It could be one that just you feel is sacred. We're going to journey with our earth dragon guides, but we're going to connect with the dragon that resides within that space. And also, like you said, Geeta, at the beginning, we maybe want to announce ourselves first. We may want to not be like, hiya, I'm here. It's like, you know, maybe, and if there's a magical name that you like to work with, you know, rather than your normal name, that's absolutely fine. Just, or if you don't want to use a name, you could just say, hi, I am here to use your intention of what you're here to, because again, we're going to be knocking on the doors of some sacred old places. It's kind of been prepared, so there will be a dragon guide that is wanting to teach you something from that space, but again, it might be nice to just go into that space of I'm from my heart to your heart, announcing myself. Any questions at all? I'm going to unfortunately mute you all for this, just because the sound doesn't play otherwise very well. I'm trying. Okay. Okay, so just get that space in your head, in your thoughts, in your mind's eye, in your feelings of a place that you have visited or that you love that is sacred to you. Stone circle, mound, cave, forest, a sacred place that you feel a connection with, or you feel the dragons want you to explore more. And when you're thinking about this place, maybe think about how it feels to be there. What is the landscape like there? Any taste or smell, sights or touch that you might experience when you're there. Okay, so we are going to begin. And we'll begin by opening or casting our dragon circle around the world. And you feel the drum as a heartbeat that's connecting you to the earth. An ancient sound, the sound of the drum that's resonated in sacred places since the dawn of humanity. you feel your own etheric roots, your own earth roots, connecting into your land, your space, and receiving the nourishment, receiving the flow of light from the earth. And you feel that light flowing up, 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 and reaching out of the top of your head, the top of your fingers, into branches of light that reach up to the heavens and receive light from the sky, from the dragons above and below. And you feel that energy flowing into your body and creating a warmth and a light within your heart center. And you send that light out to your left, and that light flows all around the globe, connecting with your sisters all over this planet, connecting with the dragons all over earth, sea and sky. And with your right hand outstretched, you receive that light, receive that circle, completing a sacred circle all over the globe. You see it like a silver or gold light. Perhaps you see it like a dragon outstretched around the circle, around the world. And when the light of the circle begins to fade and the mists from the clouds part, you find yourself standing or sitting on the ground, on the land, outside a sacred site, outside somewhere important to you. You feel the presence of the earth beneath you, rich and deep and slow. You feel the weather, the breeze or the sun brushing across your skin. And your earth dragon guide has joined you here to help you with this task of connecting with a wise teacher in the land. And they will guide you, and they will show you what needs to be done here, what needs to be healed. Perhaps there are words that need to be spoken to this place. Perhaps there's healing, wordless, from your heart. dragon guide asks you to stand with your feet on the ground, your bare feet feeling the connection with the earth. And they say that as you awakening the energy here, you're awakening the power and the energy within yourself. And you are ready to awaken the energy here. And you feel there's a light, a spark from your feet, and it begins to spiral up around your body. A golden light or a silver white light spiraling up your body, and you raise your arms to the sky as this light spirals up and up. And you see, feel that light spiraling and sparking around the place you have visited. You see there is gold light sparking and spiraling from the deepest earth around the space, awakening the space. Is released. Perhaps you see carvings, perhaps you see light, perhaps spirals of energy, but a doorway opens in this sight that was not seen before. And you and your dragon guide enter into this ancient place of power. And you adjust your eyes, and perhaps there are torches that ignite as you enter this space. Perhaps you greet the dragons and the spirits of this place, telling them your purpose here today. You see a stone altar before you, and you walk towards it, and then you become aware of a presence of the guardian dragon of this place. They have foreseen your visit. They have been part of this awakening process. Silently, or with movements or words, you commune with the great guardian of this space. Or you just watch them and allow them to be as they silently regard you. people have awoken the energy of this place. And if you wish to learn more about the ways of the dragons, about the ways of the earth, they will help, they will teach you, or they will find a teacher who will guide you. And if there is something you wish to pledge yourself to, something you wish to promise or commit yourself to, however big or small, you find that there is a piece of parchment on the altar and a feathered quill with ink. And only if you wish, you can make this pledge or promise by writing it on this parchment. Something, the dragon takes it from you and rolls the paper into a scroll, and with a breath seals the promise, the pledge to be kept in the earth. And if there is something you wish to know, to ask from the guardian of this place or your dragon guide, this is the space to do so. Space. And with thanks and clarity in your mind and heart, you turn to the door where you entered, you and your dragon guide leaving the way you came. You're outside, the gate, the doorway magically seals so it can no longer be seen by prying eyes. And your dragon guide asks you to put your hands on them, to release any extra energy that you may have raised into them, so that it may be transformed and grounded and anchored back into the land. release, sending energy from your left hand and release energy from your right. And feel your presence on this earth, your own sacred presence on this land. And the drum is the heartbeat of the earth, connecting all things. And take as long as you need. You feel the mists clear, you feel yourself arriving back in your space, in your home. And you give a stamp of your feet and a bit of a wiggle of your shoulders. And when you're ready, put your camera back on so I know you're not in the earth somewhere. Or say hi if you're, yeah, we're all good. Okay, how we're all doing? Would anyone like to share anything that came through from that, or how it felt? Or actually, no, I'll shut up.
I'm here. Sorry,
Good,
I had to get
good,
across the room.
All is well. Okay, before you share, let's give you a couple of minutes, give 2 or 3 minutes, just journal down anything that came up for you then, and we'll reconvene in 3 minutes and share anything that you want to share.
I've got to run, unfortunately.
Oh, Grace. Okay, lovely to see you.
You too.
Have a great
See you soon.
time. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
So would anyone like to share anything at all?
I can share.
Yeah, anyone. This is Gita, was you on Gail? So yeah, go for, both of you. Whoever wants to go first, you're welcome.
I get it done.
Cool.
I really get the deep feeling that my land is a sanctuary for nature. I'm kind of different than my neighbors. My neighbors are all French Acadians. I'm the only English person in this neighborhood, and I feel like I stand out differently because of that. But I also feel that I really love nature. Like they think nothing. Oh, there's a tree. I'm going to cut it down. And it drives me nuts. Like my neighbor on one side asked, he wanted to put some stuff on my trees. And it's like, it's okay if I chop all those little trees down to put this gravel there. And I'm like, no, you can put it in another place on my land that's already like a parking spot, like, but not there. Like you can't just do this. And another neighbor just built a garbage bin, just chops off parts of my maple tree. And I'm like, like, I feel it. It pains me when somebody just doesn't, like to me, if I needed to move something with the tree, like I would talk to it and ask it and explain to what I was doing. I wouldn't just chop its arm off.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, the more that I see the way other people behave, the more I realize that I'm not like that, and that I really do honor, but I have to be even more intentional. Like my place is a safe place for all the animals. I always have food and water outside, and you know, the seeds, and that's just part of who I am. But I just need to be more intentional of like, no, my place is a sanctuary and it is a safe place for nature of all kinds, you know, the animals, the bugs, the plants and everything. And I think that's what the dragon wants me to know, that to be more aware of the fact that that is the truth.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that
And
makes perfect.
even more going forward. Yeah.
Love that. Absolutely. Yeah, my neighbor keeps spraying my garden. Like, oh, got rid of your weeds. I'm like, oh, I've only just moved here and he's been here a long time. So I feel that sense of blessing. He thinks he's doing the right thing because that's what he would do. I've helped you out. And I'm like, you've just sprayed everything with poison, you know, just so I'm having to work that like level of, okay, intentionally protecting the space and saying, you know, so I do hear you on that. Kind of, it hurts, doesn't it, when you see that happen? You're just like, oh, what have you done? So thank you. Geeta, were you going to say something as well? Can't hear you still. That's weird because you're not muted. Oh, headphones.
Phones, yes, doesn't work so well. My setting is off. So I thought I would be going to a ceremonial ground of a women moon dance ceremony, but I ended up in Glastonbury.
Sorry about that. Dragged you this way.
It's always a good place to end up. Now, I'm very fond of the place and I visited a lot, although I don't really know really what's going on in the ground. It's just, it's a heart connection. I just always go there in spirit and in person. And it's a place recently, well, for the last 10 years, ever since I've been given the permission to pour water in the sweat lodge, which is such an earth element celebration, ancient ceremony. I've always saw myself doing it on this land, and it's just in the last couple of weeks that I think now finally next year I'll be having an opportunity to do that in Glastonbury. And so there is a healing, or there is something opening and a door opening. So I'm ending up there, and in the cave of the spring, that was my doorway to go into the ground, and not necessarily to connect to whatever is in the ground of Glastonbury, but as a doorway into my personal connection to the ancient wisdom. And the reason why I think that is important is because to me, Glastonbury is the connection to the priestess, healing women kind of energy. And so that's significant, that connection. And so there was a healing happening on the whole left side when you say the energy is swirling around, and I have an issue with my left side, my knee, and the message of standing on my own 2 feet kind of is a strong message, which also means that I really allow myself to ground myself fully into the ability how much space I can hold, which again, there's a movement into going way bigger than from what I've done so far. A slight resistance on my part. So my pledge that but also in the same time the recognition in that ancient deep temple that there are ancestors of my lineage which are there ready, the dragon energy which are there ready, and that message of like, you are not doing this by yourself, you know, this is like, but you have to still acknowledge and pledge that you participate, because only then can we assist.
Yes.
And I think this is such an important message until you say yes. I mean, really yes, not just, oh yeah, I'd like to be married, but it's like you walk down the aisle and you look the person in the eye and you say yes. Yeah. Which are two very different things in my understanding. And it's not until you've done that that the universe can line up behind you.
Yeah. Yes.
So I think that's the central message, with, you know, little kind of offerings of the sacred medicine, you know, which was given, and so there was healing for that side. There was that pledge of like, stand up, say yes, and then we can back you up. And then really sort of the call from this ancient wisdom of like, you know, that's part of your medicine. You reconnect to the ancient wisdom, and we are all there. Sort of. Yes.
Oh, I'm excited for you, Gita. I love that. Nan or Reva, do you want to say anything? You don't have to, just if you wanted to share anything. No pressure. No pressure. Well, I got not through this one, but when I was doing the drumming for the midweek one, was like how power and ego need to be separated, because also like broken ego, like, oh, I can't possibly, I'm not good enough, oh God, it's me, stops you from stepping in your power, and or like, I am, by the way, very powerful, you know, is also stopping you from doing the work. So it was like, it's okay to claim that power. And it's very unhuman, isn't it, to do it with, because we feel very society, who do you think you are? That voice comes into our little heads, or whatever else comes in. But the week is like, it's that the work needs to be done, and to do that we need to say yes, walk down the aisle, own it, stand up and say, I'm going to like Gail, protect the nature of my space, connect with the sacred sites, connect with the animals, help do the work. And for me, it's been a lot about that's ego has to go out the window. It's not about what you think about yourself in that way. It's actually taking that aside and say, this is, because your soul knows it's your job, but we have such a societal, either who do I think I am, I've been hurt before, I can't be seen, or the other way around. So it's been a really interesting one of like just taking all that out and just going, do the work, do the thing, you're here to do it. So that's been really nice as well. But yeah, I feel like there's one more dragon journey that wants to come through about money and abundance, because our funny relationship with that. So I might share that before the next one. This is something that's coming through, that one side we haven't looked at is our attitude towards riches, and we've done the inner treasure. So I feel there's one more thing that might want to come through. So I'll put that up I think it will happen next week or so. So I'll put it up in the group, and do nudge me if I forget, because you know what I'm like. But thank you. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this conversation and all of your wisdom. And obviously, as we say, the group will be staying open, so please share. And if you're watching the recording, please share all your experiences, your places, your magic. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely day. Enjoy. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.